Free agent Baron Corbin makes a shocking return to NXT and seemingly is going after the NXT champion Carmelo Hayes. Details on that. Plus, Mustafa Ali also makes a return to NXT this week. Alexa Bliss reveals she is pregnant and addresses her WWE future. An update on the status of Seth freaking Rollins and Trish Stratus on Monday Night Raw. AJ Styles' appearance on Raw this week was reportedly a last-minute call by none other than Vince McMahon. Details on that. Blair Davenport is revealed as the mystery attacker on NXT in recent weeks. Ronda Rousey laments the shallow women's division in WWE. An NXT Battle Royale has been announced for next week's show on USA Network. We've got the ratings for last Friday's edition of SmackDown, and Roman Reigns' appearances throughout this summer have been revealed. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment. Let's start off talking about Baron Corbin returning to NXT. Yes, after a successful title defense against Bron Breakker at NXT Battleground, Carmelo Hayes wasted little time in finding his next challenger after agreeing to put his NXT Championship on the line against NXT Heritage Cup champion Noam Dar. The two met in the main event of Tuesday's edition of NXT. Despite the ringside shenanigans from each of their allies, Hayes managed to pull out a victory by nailing Dar with his nothing but net finisher. Hayes' post-match celebration was cut off by the free agent Baron Corbin, who attacked him from behind. After leading Hayes back to the ring, Corbin delivered an end of days and ended the show by holding up the NXT Championship, signaling his interest in challenging for that title next. Corbin joins the likes of Apollo Crews, Finn Balor, Charlotte Flair and Piper Niven as recent main roster superstars to appear on the NXT brand. Due to his free agency status, it remains to be seen if Corbin assumes a permanent roster spot on the developmental brand or if his stint would just be a temporary run. Fans on social media believe Corbin showed flashes of his lone wolf gimmick on Tuesday, a persona he had not used since his early days and early years on the main roster of WWE. Corbin has suffered a series of losses on the main roster prior to his re-emergence on the NXT brand. In fact, his last televised victory came all the way back on the November 14 episode of Monday Night Raw against Akira Tozawa, at a time when Corbin was aligned with WWE Hall of Famer John Bradshaw Layfield. Corbin's luck went from bad to worse when JBL ditched him as a client after referring to him as a clown and a turd that cannot be polished. So, is Corbin going to get his mojo back now that he's back on NXT, and could he be the next NXT champion? What do you think of Baron Corbin returning to NXT? What gimmick would you like to see Baron Corbin return to, or would you like to see a new gimmick for Baron Corbin in NXT? Let me know your thoughts as always in the comment section below. But he wasn't the only main roster star to return to NXT last night, because Mustafa Ali is also back in NXT. Mustafa Ali made his surprise return to NXT during Tuesday night's episode. Ali appeared in the crowd just before NXT North American champion Wesley and Tyler Bate teamed up for a match against the Dyad. Ali later ran into the ring and helped Lee and Bate after Schism leader Joe Gacy attacked them. One of the last times that Ali was on a televised episode of NXT was all the way back on the October 3rd, 2016 episode, when he took place in the first round of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. His last non-televised match for NXT was in April of 2017. Over the weekend at Night of Champions, Ali unsuccessfully challenged Gunther for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Ali had earned a shot at the title after he won the WWE Intercontinental title #1 Contenders Battle Royal on the May 15 episode of Monday Night Raw. It's worth noting that during this year's WWE draft, Ali was one of several stars to be designated as a free agent. The free agency list also includes the likes of Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, Omos, Elias, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, Von Wagner, and former WWE champion Brock Lesnar. Though Ali, as I mentioned, wasn't the only free agent to make his way back to NXT, because Baron Corbin also made his presence felt on USA Network this past Tuesday. Let's talk about Alexa Bliss, and congratulations, of course, go out to Alexa Bliss, because it has been revealed and announced that she and her husband are expecting their first child together. And Alexa Bliss has addressed her WWE future following her pregnancy announcement. The wrestling world has been sending their congratulations to the WWE star Alexa Bliss and her husband Ryan Cabrera after the news broke of the couple expecting their first child yesterday on May 30. Several wrestlers and fans have been sending their congratulations and best wishes to the former Raw Women's Champion, who has responded to one fan in particular. A fan replied to WWE's post about Bliss's pregnancy to send their congrats and say they missed the WWE star. Bliss simply replied, quote, "I'll be back." E! Online broke the news earlier yesterday with comments from Alexa Bliss. Speaking on the pregnancy, Alexa said, quote, "It was a total surprise as we weren't trying at all. We FaceTimed my mother immediately and then shared the news with Ryan's family." Bliss joined fellow WWE star Carmella, who recently announced her pregnancy as expecting her first child with her husband, Corey Graves. Meanwhile, AEW star Tay Mello announced at Double or Nothing that her and Sammy Guevara are also expecting their first child. Of course, we wish all the best to Alexa and Ryan in this exciting new chapter of their lives. So certainly very exciting and happy news for Alexa Bliss and her family. Now let's talk about Trish Stratus and Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw. At Night of Champions, the latest in a series of shows that WWE has sold to the government of Saudi Arabia, both Seth freaking Rollins and Trish Stratus emerged victorious, beating AJ Styles and Becky Lynch respectively, with Rollins winning the vacant WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the process, becoming the inaugural champion. With Stratus being semi-retired and Rollins being in the midst of shooting Captain America New World Order though, it wasn't entirely clear what their roles would be on Monday Night Raw episodes in the coming weeks, but both appeared on Monday's show, and according to a new report from PW Insider, it doesn't end there. Reportedly, according to PW Insider, both Stratus and Rollins are set to be on all episodes of Raw for the foreseeable future. With Stratus, that means that her new association with Zoe Stark isn't to set up Stark serving as her surrogate, if you will, since she won't be taking any time off. Instead, it looks like they're going to be an ongoing act that is used to get Stark over. With Rollins, whatever filming commitments he has left on Captain America New World Order, apparently that won't get in the way of him appearing on WWE's flagship TV show as the new World Heavyweight Champion. Rollins' victory on Saturday made it so he has held all of WWE's top brand-specific men's singles titles, starting with the NXT Championship before he's making his way to the WWE Championship, the Universal Championship, and now the World Heavyweight Championship. The only active main roster men's titles that he has not held are the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, as all of his tag title reigns have come with the Raw Tag Team titles. So we're going to be seeing more of Rollins and more of Trish every single week on Monday Night Raw. Now, speaking of Seth Rollins, we saw this past week AJ Styles appear on Raw. Of course, Rollins and Styles faced off for the World Heavyweight Championship at Night of Champions, and it led to some confusion about the brand split and why Styles was on the show, considering he's a SmackDown superstar. Now, AJ Styles' appearance on Raw this week reportedly was a last-minute decision, and now, according to PW Insider, that decision and that call came from WWE's executive chairman himself, Vince McMahon. Portions of Raw were altered to include Styles in the opening segment, and his teaming with the new World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins in the main event was reportedly at McMahon's request. In the main event, Styles and Rollins defeated the Judgment Day's Finn Balor and Damian Priest, who had interrupted Styles congratulating Rollins on winning the new World Heavyweight title at the start of the show, setting up the match for later on in the evening. Since McMahon returned as WWE's executive chairman, it's safe to say that he has slowly been getting back involved with creative. Just in April alone, McMahon reportedly made plenty of creative changes that showed he wasn't finished with his former role. One major moment was the Raw after WrestleMania 39, in which McMahon, 15 to 20 minutes before the show went live, had asked for several rewrites. The match to determine the next challenger for the Raw Women's Championship was later replaced with a number one contenders match for the women's tag titles. A few weeks later, after the April 3rd episode of Raw, the former WWE CEO made changes again, this time to the April 25 episode. In some matches of that night, he had changed the original winners while scrapping a few segments involving female talents. In a last-minute rewrite, McMahon had added the Street Profits versus Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. So it was also reported by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select that McMahon is making changes to every show, essentially, remotely. They're not as sweeping as when he's there, and it's a lot calmer backstage because he's not there. But to say that Vince McMahon isn't involved in creative right now is a stretch, because certainly he is making decisions and he is making changes. Now, going back to NXT last night, and for a while now, NXT has been dealing with a rash of parking lot attacks. The list of talent that has been attacked by this hooded figure includes the likes of Roxanne Perez, Nikita Lyons, Wendy Chu, and Sol Ruka. On this Tuesday's episode of NXT, the attacker was revealed as former NXT UK star Blair Davenport. During the episode, Danny Palmer came out and called out the attacker for hurting Ruka, while a video of the attacks and a tease of a reveal played on the screen. Davenport snuck into the ring and attacked Palmer, while revealing herself as the masked attacker. The last time that Davenport was in action was this past September when she and NXT UK Women's Champion Meiko Satomura were defeated by NXT Women's Champion Mandy Rose in a three-way title unification match at Worlds Collide. Davenport made her NXT debut during the August 16, 2022 special Heatwave, where she had a backstage segment with former NXT Women's Champion Indy Hartwell. This was the same episode where other NXT UK stars made their debuts, Tyler Bates and current NXT Tag Team Champions Gallus. Davenport signed with WWE in 2021. She made her NXT UK in-ring debut in July of that year too in a match against Laura Di Matteo. Before signing with WWE, the 27-year-old wrestled under the name Bea Priestley in Stardom, Rev Pro, and of course All Elite Wrestling as well. So it looks like Blair Davenport is going to be set for a push on the NXT brand in the United States. Now, Ronda Rousey is one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions after winning the titles this week on Monday Night Raw, but she's hit out and criticized once again the women's division and the booking specifically of the females in World Wrestling Entertainment. On the May 29 episode of Raw, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler defeated Shotzi and Raquel Rodriguez, Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green, and Damage Control to win the vacant WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. The titles introduced in 2019 have been subject to a great deal of criticism over the questionable booking surrounding them since their inception. There have been randomly put together teams, and the division overall has lacked depth for most of the time that the titles has even been around. Last year, no one was a champion for a long time after the titles were vacated from Sasha Banks and Trinity Fatu, then known as Naomi, because they didn't know what to do with them. Now, speaking to the New York Post, Ronda Rousey commented on her title win and the lack of competition in the division. She said, quote, "Well, the lack of competition is really the problem. I mean, we want to be the most active champions out there. I want to be able to defend this title every week and even twice a week on both SmackDown and Raw. But with how dismally shallow the women's division is right now, there's not enough women around here to keep us busy for a month. So that's the biggest challenge, and we have to get this company to actually care and invest into this tag division." Rousey continued on to reference the way the women's division changed during her time away in 2019 when she took time away to become a mother, saying, quote, "It was like the entire women's division just got stripped clean. Now we're the women that are left trying to piece together, stories and a division, a tag division with around 10 women or even less on each roster. I mean, we're trying the best we can to make chicken shit into chicken salad, and we made some amazing chicken salad on Monday night." Emphasizing that she and Shayna Baszler have been lobbying to team together for years, Ronda stated, quote, "I think that's the one thing that really sets us apart from every single person, every single tag team in the history of this company, is that we've came here already tested, and we came here already closer than anyone's ever been. We've literally fought together, bled together, cried together, everything, so there's nothing that's going to tear us apart, especially not a fantasy-led company like this." So, again, what do you think of Ronda Rousey's comments? Some people criticized her, but some people praised her for saying that she's right. Does the women's tag team division lack depth? Does the company not care about women's wrestling? Do they need to get the company to care about women's wrestling? How do they do that? Let me know your thoughts. As always, comment section below. You can stand off and give your opinion on Rousey's comments. Now, talking about Tiffany Stratton and the women's division in NXT, all eyes were on Tiffany Stratton on Tuesday night. On the heels of her victory at the NXT Battleground event, Stratton hosted Tiffany Brayton to kick off her reign as champion. On Tuesday's edition of NXT, Stratton invited the entire women's division down to ringside to join the festivities. After Stratton's invitation initially went unaccepted, she asked the locker room if they wanted to know who her first title challenger would be. With their interest now piqued, the women's locker room went down to ringside. Stratton then announced that NXT will host a battle royal next week to determine the top contender for her newly won NXT Championship. So far, 17 women have been confirmed to compete in the battle royal next week, including Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, and JC Jane. Another notable entrant is Lola Vice, who will make her in-ring debut on NXT if she's part of the match next week. Since signing with WWE last summer, the former Bellator star has wrestled at several NXT live events and has garnered a handful of appearances on NXT Level Up. "My time," Vice quickly responded to the news on Twitter. Stratton said it won't matter who challenges her because as long as she wants, it's Tiffy time. Stratton then raised up her title as confetti began pouring down. Stratton's celebration would be cut short as the locker room laid out a beating to the 24-year-old. Lyra Valkyria, her Battleground opponent, delivered the final blow with a running dropkick through the ropes. So it's going to be interesting to see, indeed, who challenges Tiffany Stratton next week. To talk about the ratings for this past Friday's episode of Friday Night Smackdown, per Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics, Smackdown drew 2.158 million viewers. This is up from the May 19 edition that drew 2.133 million viewers. This is the highest total viewership for the program since the April 28 episode. In the 1849 demographic, Friday show scored a 0.52 rating. This is slightly down from the week prior that scored a 0.53 rating. WWE ranked number 1 among the broadcast primetime and cable originals in the demo for the night. The show featured Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn hosting the KO show, featuring the Usos and Roman Reigns in the main event segment. It also featured Austin Theory defeating Sheamus to retain the United States Championship. Of course, this was a show that was pre-taped the week prior, as the WWE crew was heading out and already in Saudi Arabia for the Night of Champions event. Finally, Roman Reigns, we know what he's going to be doing during the summer, at least the majority of the summer anyway. WWE has officially announced the next 10 appearances for undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Prior to Money in the Bank, the Tribal Chief will appear on SmackDown on June 2nd in Wilkes-Barre, and on June 16 in Lexington, and June 30 in London. On June 17, Reigns will make a rare WWE Super Show live event appearance in Columbus, Ohio. Then in the lead up to SummerSlam, Reigns is set to appear on SmackDown in New York City on July 7, in Orlando on July 21, and New Orleans on July 28. He will also work a live event in Mexico City on July 22nd. While he is advertised for SummerSlam in Detroit on August 5th, he's not currently scheduled for the go-home in Dayton on August 4th. Since reverting to a part-time schedule 1 year ago, Reigns has only made 4 house show appearances to work special attraction matches. Even his television and premium live event schedule was reduced despite holding the company's top prize. Last year, Reigns did not compete at Hell in a Cell, Money in the Bank, and Extreme Rules. So far this year, Backlash in Puerto Rico was the only premium live event he did not appear on. WWE has not announced any premium live event dates past SummerSlam, so it remains to be seen how that will play out sometime down the line. In the imminent future, it appears that Reigns will be dealing with the bloodline potentially falling apart. At Night of Champions on Saturday, Jimmy Uso super kicked the head of the table, which shocked everybody involved. Fans will get a glimpse into the repercussions this Friday on SmackDown in Pennsylvania. So there you go, guys. That's the latest WWE news for you. Be sure to smash the like and the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. Remember, you can let me know your thoughts as always in the comment section below, and you can join the WN365 roster by clicking that join button. It's also in the video description below. We are going to be launching very, very soon a Monday Night Wars rewatch special. We're going to be watching every single episode of WWE Monday Night Raw and WCW Monday Nitro chronologically and relive the Monday Night Wars. We've also already uploaded our first members video. That's a rewatch of the Vengeance Night of Champions 2007 main event, a WWE Championship challenge. It was a lot of fun, and there's going to be a lot coming to that part of the channel. So if you haven't already, you can join the roster. Just click the join button. Anyway, guys, have a great Wednesday, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.